Welcome to the Hatchet House, the legendary home of the Washington Hatchets. The Jasper Wildcats on the road tonight in a rivalry with no longer a conference foe, but still Washington's always been a rival with the Jasper Wildcats, and we will play them here tonight. The Wildcats with a 2-6 record against Washington, who stands at 1-6 on the season. Hello, everybody. I'm Craig Schneider, along with Jason Stom and Jeremy Marcos on the video. And all right, quick recap of last night, Jason. Bossy 74, Jasper 50. So it was a game that the Wildcats obviously were competitive for maybe about 3/4 of the first quarter. Then after that, Bossy kind of took over. 22 turnovers for the Wildcats in that game, and also three-point shooting, just 3 of 21. So need to see some improvements there, don't we?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Coach Gable in the interview last night alluded to the fact that we had 22 turnovers, and it's hard to win a game when you turn the ball over that many times. So hopefully tonight we can right that ship and turn the page, and let's move on and have a different game tonight.
All right, so we are underway, and the Wildcats out there with Isaac Day, Tanner Ernie, Caleb Berger, Connor Foley, and getting the start tonight is Gus Heichelbeck, number 55. He is now the second leading per ball game scorer. He's averaging 10.8 points per ball game for the Cats.
Jasper's going to be patient. It's going to be a lot different game tonight than what it was last night. There's no doubt. We got to take care of the basketball a lot better than what we did last night.
Foley, who had 18 points and 13 rebounds in that game, so a double-double for him, career night for him so far. Taking on Washington, who starts Owen Gray, number 11. 15 is Zach Gray. 23 is Bryce Nadig, and actually there's a travel right there, and that is actually by Bryson Nadig. And then you've got 24, Joa Horrell, and number 30 is Trey Reed. He's a senior, 6'5", 210 pounds.
Reed's known for his baseball abilities. He's coach's son over here. I think he signed to go to Indiana State to play baseball up there. So, good athlete. Got some size, but he'll have his work cut out for him too, trying to guard Foley tonight. So,
well, that's a good start for Caleb Berger, knocking down a 3. So, Cats early on, as we mentioned, need to improve that three-point shooting after last night's performance. So, a good start there. Cats up 3-0.
I think tonight. Coaches are, the hard thing for kids is, last night you're going to take on a team that was, there's a chance for Reed for an and one. But last night it's easy for the kids to get up to play a game like last night. You're going up against a team that's notoriously good year in and year out, and their record proved that last night at 6-0 or whatever they were when we went in there. And then you turn around and have to play tonight against a team that their record's not very good. They're 1-6 or whatever you said. So as a coaching staff, you have to try to motivate the kids to say, hey, you got to play the same way tonight as what you played last night.
Right. And
that's not an easy thing to do, because kids see the records, they see that, they understand this, they know Washington ain't as good as what Bossy is. So these are games when you can. Teams like Washington can sneak up on somebody like Jasper. I mean, Jasper should be the better team tonight, should come away with a win, but that's why they play. So,
well, this team actually, the Washington team, their last game was against Heritage Hills, 56-40. They lost that ball game. Reed actually led them in scoring with 17. So, and their single win this year is against North Knox, winning that game 47-27. But they have played Bossy. Actually, this ball game they lost just 66-61, and they lost an overtime game against Tell City 54-49. That was their second game of the season. So, again, Washington coached by Gene Miller. I mean, gosh, 718 career wins, 14 sectionals, 5 regionals, 3 semi-states, and 3 state titles, and that's basically at 3 outstanding basketball programs: Vincennes, Leakin, Lafayette, Jeff, and ever since 2006 here in Washington.
Yeah, he's pretty well a legendary coach in the area and in the state. He's done a lot of good things. Obviously here in Washington there for some time he had the Zeller boys, so that made coaching a lot easier.
Yeah.
But you got to give him some credit too for for helping them along and to get to where they're at.
Oh, exactly.
But yeah, he's a very good coach, well respected. I think anybody you talk to doesn't have anything negative to say about him.
No, not at all. All right, so Foley hit a bucket for the Wildcats to make it 5-3, and now down low. Reed's not able to put that back up and in, so Cats trying to push it here as Day attacks the lane, finds the opening and puts it up and in. So Isaac Day.
That's what we didn't do much of last night. We would have a hard time breaking the press, and then when we would and get the ball in there where we just had it, we weren't able to finish them.
That's the thing with Isaac Day. He's going to try to assert himself a little bit better offensively. Just 2 points last night, even though he is the Wildcats' leading scorer. Good rebound there by Foley after the miss by Heichelbeck, but can't put it back up and in. 7-3 is our score. 4 minutes into the first quarter as the ball gets knocked away there by Ernie. Substitution. Here comes Albrand quickly for the Cats, so Ernie's going to sit.
And Jasper, like they have here in the whole season, basically, I'm sure is going to use, 9, 10 guys or so. We were talking there before the game. Still don't see Isaac Heim out there. So I would assume he's still off with COVID. But outside of that, we've got 12 guys dressed, and I think 10 of them, well, they all played last night, but, for the most part, 10 out of those 12 have been getting, quite a few minutes in the games. So looks like, obviously tonight he'll probably try to do that same type of thing.
So Nate actually hit that shot. Now he gets a steal here. So he's going to go the other way and lays it up and in to 4 quick points for number 23, and that ties the game at 7.
We got to do a better job on the defensive end. We're allowing them 2 easiest shots and second chance points. We can't do that.
Heichelbeck makes a spin move, now kicks. Albrand, good shooter there. So Cats are hitting a 3-pointer early on. 2 of them here in this first 5 minutes of this ball game. 10-7, Jasper with an early lead. All right, so Heichelbeck's going to pick up his second foul. Again, he's getting the start tonight, but he's going to get an early exit, it looks like.
Good use, looking to check in. Yep, there he comes.
All right, so the Wildcats' second leading scorer is going to have to sit right now. 10-7, Jasper leads early on, 2:53 on the clock, and there's an inbound play, but a good recovery, but they're going to call the foul.
I think they can
see if they call this on Berger.
They can take their pick. I think Berger got it. Yeah.
So 3 quick fouls on the Wildcats here in this quarter so far. So stepping to the line, that is Joa Horao, and he hits the first one. And that's the thing with this Washington program. I mean, no longer a conference foe for the Wildcats, obviously with the breakup of the Big 8 conference, but they joined that Pocket Athletic Conference, which in basketball is not too shabby itself. Heritage Hills, South Spencer, Southridge, Princeton, and Forest Park lead the way so far in that conference this year.
Yeah, we haven't really talked much about that, the conference part, but, I'm partial to that. I hated to see the Big 8 go away. Back when we were in school, that was kind of when the Big 8 was initiated and kind of was started up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've kind of always been partial to that conference and thought it was have always thought it was a good conference. And I don't know, what the reasoning behind the breakup of it was, but, you hate to see stuff like that go away because there was a lot of good rivals in there, like you said here, Jasper and Washington. That was always a good rival. Now, I mean, you're still going to play them, but I don't care what anybody says. There's some luster that you lose from it when it's not a conference game.
Yeah.
It's just another game. Luckily, Vincennes will still be that way because they moved with us.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just a little careless with the ball. But back to that point with the conference, there's Reed with a nice move. You hate to see that, but it's changing times.
Right.
It's like anything else, you got to adapt to it and adjust and move on.
Foley with a nice move, and he's not able to get the shot up and in, but he will go to the line to shoot too. And, one thing also with that conference, though, in a lot of the sports, you can continue on playing. I mean, because, again, Jasper Washington's been playing each other since the beginning of sports, and Boonville has always been a team we played over the years and all that. But really where it got hurt was football because you basically, all of our games are all conference games now. We don't have a spot for Southridge. We don't have a spot for, some of these other schools. Yeah, Heritage Hills as well. But
yeah, and that part of it's really, really stinks. I think, and again, this is my opinion, which means absolutely nothing. But on the football side, I think it would benefit schools if they divided that conference into East and a West or a North and a South or something, where you only had to play half of them, and it lets you have that opportunity to play some rivals that you were used to playing. But the thing with it is those Evansville schools don't want to or won't have. They've never done that. Their rival schools are in the conference, so it's not a big deal for them.
No.
The only ones that would benefit from that would be like Jasper, Vincennes,
right.
Maybe Castle or something like that that would benefit to pick up, somebody else. But I think, that on the football side of it, that would be a good thing to be able to do that.
Right.
But again, that's just my opinion, and probably that's about all the farther it'll go. But
well, at least during this broadcast, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so 7 points for Trey Reed. He leads Washington. They lead the Wildcats 13-12 right now.
He works hard down there. I mean, on the offensive end, he gets open and gets some rebounds. And I don't care what the record indicates. Coming into this game, any team that Gene Miller coaches and goes up against Jasper, this may be the best game they play all year. And I don't know, and it doesn't really matter, but. He's a very good motivator and a very good teacher of the game, and they're going to be ready to play this game. So, and it's obvious. I mean, and and I think too their record doesn't indicate some of their games they've been in. They've been in some close games. They've been ahead, bossy. At halftime or whatever somebody said it was. I think. So.
All right, well, the desperation shot there by Reed does not go, and Hatchett's game is kind of going back and forth for a little bit there. Right now it's 13-12 at the end of one here on 18 WJTS. Hatchet basketball to start the second quarter, leading 13-12 over the Jasper Wildcats. Good quarter there by Trey Reed, their big man, 6'5", who has the ball in his hands right now. 7 points for him. Michael Beekler picking up the ball right there. That's Nadig. Now Reed, spin move, high off the glass, does not go. Here comes quickly Day on the left side. Feed into Foley. Shot fake, good position, and gets the roll. So Foley continuing on, 18 points last night. He's got 6 early on here in the second quarter. 7:25 to go. Jasper with a 1-point lead.
We did a good job of running transition there and got the ball down and was able to get it into Connor, and he was able to convert that. So
three-pointer, almost banked in there.
It in.
Yeah.
See, that's what, I mean, we're going to get out of that unscathed, but, I mean, they got the rebound and had a second opportunity to score.
Yeah, Connor. Little dancing shoes right there at the top of the key. So turnover for the Wildcats. Here comes a substitution for the Hatchets. That's number 14, Zach Mann, sophomore, 6 foot tall, 150 pounds. Cats with a 1-point lead, 14-13, and they're going to call Dave for the foul. Aggressively going against Zach Mann there. So first foul on Dave, 4th foul on the Wildcats. 2 have been called on Washington. Heichelbeck back into the game with his 2 fouls. Reed just attacks there.
He just put his head down, and that was a bull going to the house there.
All right, so that's going to have him to the line. He 1-1 tonight so far. Good stroke there. So 8 points for Reed, 14 for the Hatchets, looking to take the lead here. And pops that one. Hatchets 5 of 5 from the free throw line so far in this ball game. 15-14. Englert gives it up. Gus double team, gets the ball knocked away. Good job by Beekler to recover. And they're going to call Zach Mann for that personal foul. Well, it's pretty well a hollow Hatchet house today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's just weird.
I was sitting here thinking of that a while ago that, I've been in here for a lot of basketball games. There's
Oh,
Dave with
yeah.
a nice move. But, I've been in here for a lot of basketball games, and this is probably the, and I mean, it's that way everywhere, but the worst crowd that I've ever, or the smallest crowd that I've ever seen in here.
Yeah. All right, so the Cats' aggressive defense there forces the Hatchets to call a timeout. We'll take a break. 16-15 is our score. 6:12 to go here on 18 WJTS. Center Grove against Ben Davis. This place was packed.
Yeah. There's been some, you stop and think, oh, I guess we ought to go.
We are going.
Yeah.
Hatchets with the ball. And there's a steal by
nice
Foley,
steal by
so
Foley.
he's got a breakaway, and he lays it up and in. No dunk attempt this
I
time.
think he might have learned his lesson last night after he missed that one.
But he had an incredible power dunk against Southridge.
He
the other
did,
night, though.
and what they call a foul here?
I guess they did.
Called
Yeah,
a foul
Foley
on
knocked that
Foley.
away, but they did end up calling the foul.
I didn't see any foul there.
Man, oh man, that's 6 fouls on the Cats already. 3 on the Hatch. Owen Gray brings it up on the left side. Dave's picking him up. And they're going to call a blocking foul on Englert. So now we're talking about a team that's so far 5 for 5 from the line. They're going to be shooting the rest of the way.
Now you're going to put them in, yeah. Now you're putting them in the bonus, but.
So that's a second foul on Englert in his short play tonight. So that brings off the bench Mundy. And thing is, with Mundy, I think that one thing with the Wildcat offense, trying to get him some more looks. I mean, he's a really good shooter, and he's shown that all season.
Yeah, he is. Carter's biggest thing is right now is getting adjusted to the speed of a varsity game. I mean, he's had success and played well, at the freshman level. And does well in the JV games, but anybody that's played this game will tell you that it's totally a different game when you get to the varsity level because of the speed of the game.
Yeah. But Jasper, every year in and year out, pretty well dominates in JV. They won today 50-27, but as you can see, once you get to that varsity level, things kind of change. Cat's not able to score there, and now we get that.
And, that's one thing that, you try to teach young kids on, when you're playing defense is you play defense with your feet, not your arms and your hands. Because when you do, that's when you get in trouble. You know, and right there was a perfect example of that. Isaac's trying to play. He's playing hard. He's trying to do what he needs to do by putting pressure on the ball. But he was moving his feet, but he stuck his arms out there, and that's what he got called for.
Yeah, they'll call that. All right, well, that's 2 foul shots missed by the Hatchets now. 18-15, Jasper with a 3-point lead with 4:46 to go here in the first half.
This is a stretch of the game right here where you've got a 3-point lead. You need to build on it. You can't let them get back in the game.
Mundy's long on that 3-point shot, and Cats can't get the bound. So here we go the other way. Owen Gray attacks now, cross court. Mundy one-on-one there.
Yeah, they kind of cleared out. Looked like to let that guy go one-on-one with him, but did a good job playing defense.
3-pointer is long.
And over the back.
So that's going to be a foul on number 15, Zach Gray, picking up the personal there. Just the, well, is that their 4th foul? Yes, it is. They're not as quick as Jasper.
No. I'll tell you what, I was just sitting here
Blinking eye.
looking at these Washington uniforms. These Washington uniforms are almost identical to our home
Yeah.
uniforms because you can't hardly read the numbers on them.
It's that gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the same thing to us in football as well. Jasper's got the gold numbers on the whites.
I know our buddy on the radio, Walt, was raising Cain about that last night. He said he's got to get his binoculars out just to try to read the numbers, and it is. I mean, it's especially the back numbers aren't so bad, but the front ones are so small and you can't read them. I guess that's just showing our age too.
It
Craig.
is. It is. Nearsightedness, farsightedness, just sightedness. Really.
Can't see. Oh.
Ernie still looking for his first 2 points of the night. Actually, it was a 3-point attempt there, but actually now averaging 9.5 points per ball game. He was one of 3 guys in double figures last night. Foley had 18, Ernie had 11, and Heichelbeck with 11.
You know, I think that's one thing that, you know, I think Coach Gable's probably looking for a little bit is we need a little more consistent play from some of these guys. There's a charge called. I don't know who. Oh, Mundy took that.
Yeah, they actually called that on Horrell down there.
But, you know, we need a little more consistent play from some of these guys, from some of them, you know. Right now, I don't know that, you know, anybody we have has played well in every game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're not going to because they're high school kids. But it's more about being consistent. You know, it doesn't mean you got to go out and score average 20 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be able to, whatever your role is, whether it's rebounding, whether it's shooting, whether it's passing, whatever it is, you have to be able to do that at a consistent pace. And right now, I think, you know, we're kind of some of the guys are kind of struggling with that.
Right.
And they'll keep working at it, and they'll work through those things. But
well, I mean, we obviously faced a very quick, athletic team that, you know, we probably just didn't match up very well with last night. But then you go back to that Southridge game again. Southridge dominated that game for the most part up until just the fourth quarter, where the Cats are able to battle back there and tie it up and send it into overtime to finish it off. But, you know, those are the type of games that it's like you got to learn how to pull games like that out. You got to be able to make the shots. You got to be able to make the plays, make the defensive plays, and whatever it takes to win ball games. And tonight's a perfect example of where they can learn from this ball game.
yeah, there's no doubt. You know, that Southridge game was a good game for that. You know, we had to battle and fight and scratch all the way down to the end, and you know, we were able to do that. And you know, tonight you have to be able to do that. You know, this is going to be the same type of game. You know, Washington's not going to roll over just because they're playing Jasper.
No.
You know, so you know, it's not going to be a high-scoring game. It's not going to be a blowout, I wouldn't think. So you have to have a little consistency and be able to do what you need to do to win.
All right, so Foley's stuck in the lane there. Now he steps out. .209 left on the clock. Jasper with a 1-point lead, 18-17. And good job here by Ernie to get that baseline.
See, when Tanner has his success, that's what he does. He slashes, he cuts to the rim, and what that does is, and that opens him up for his outside shot. You know, the defense will back off of him because they'll not want to get beat, and then that leaves him open for the outside shot.
Right.
So he needs to be consistent with his slashing and getting to the rim a little bit.
All right, 2017 with 1:48 to go here. Cats with a lead over the Hatchets. You know, and that's everything too. I mean, we're playing a team that is a very comparable style, you know, as far as the way we play. So you can see a lot more half court tonight versus the up and down game last night.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Both teams are
more structured.
Structured to run the half court, you know, and shoot the basketball like that, you know. That's what we're used to playing, the way we're used to playing, and playing against teams that are similar to that. And like you said last night, that was, you know, Bossy's obviously not that type of team, so it was hard for us to adjust to it.
All right, so Albran with 2 3-pointers tonight makes it a 23-17 game. There's Reed with the basketball. He gives it up. Gets it back, though, on the right wing. He'll attack against Foley and loses control, but hang on to the ball as they work it around the perimeter. Now they get him down in the blocks against Foley, and so that battle continuing on tonight. And both of them scored. You got Foley with 8 points. You've got Reed actually with 11, so he'll step to the line. He's 3 for 3 tonight, and that's second personal foul on Foley. Oh, actually, did they call that Berger?
Well, that's what they've got on the board. I don't know how.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know where Berger was at. I wasn't even looking at him. I mean, Foley was behind him, and I thought that's what the official
he must have
hand
came over and helped
was.
and reached or something.
I don't know.
All right, so the foul shot is good. Second one up and in. So he's having a ball game. 13 first half points. 23-19. We got 37 seconds to go here in the first half. Cats moving the offense. Berger at the top. Misses. And Day comes up with the loose ball. 24 seconds. Now they'll back it out.
I thought they would have run it for the last shot previous, but now they will.
Down to 12. 23-19. Jasper with a 4-point lead. 3 seconds. Berger attacks, puts it up, and it does not drop, though. All right, so again, good old Southern Indiana basketball going on right now on the floor, and Jasper leads at 23-19, Jason.
Yeah, this is a little bit more the style and the whatever basketball that we're used to watching. And like we said, all along, it's kind of the style and the type of game that we kind of expected. When you come to play against a Washington team, they're going to play hard, and they are. So it's like I said, it's right what we expected. I think we're taking care of the basketball a lot better tonight. I don't know turnover-wise how many we've got, but I'm sure it's a lot better tonight than what it was last night because, we ended up with 22 last night, and I'm sure that was one of the things that the coaching staff this morning in their walkthrough stressed about, things that we got to get better at was taking care of the basketball. So I think so far tonight we've done a pretty decent job of that. The kids are playing hard again tonight. We played hard last night, but they're still playing hard tonight, and it's a whole different night, different game, basically.
Absolutely. All right, so 23-19. We're in halftime here on 18 WJTS. All right, we're back once again here at the Hatchet House, getting ready to start the second half. 23 for the Wildcats, 19 for the Hatchets. Of the 19 of the Hatchets, Jason, you kind of look on paper, you just got to stop one guy at least at this particular point, and that's Trey Reed. He's got 13 of the 19 points, 4 points for Bryson Nadig, and Joa Harrell had 2 points. But for the Wildcats, good balanced scoring there. Jack Allbrand off the bench with 6 points and 2 3-pointers that he hit. But Foley leads the Wildcats with 8. 4 for Day, 2 for Ernie, and Caleb Berger popped a 3 in the first quarter. But, what can the Cats do to stop Trey Reed here?
Well, he's very active on the offensive end. Does a very good job of moving. He doesn't get stationary. They obviously look for him. I mean, their offense goes through him. So they look for him for the first or second option of their offense. So we just got to do a better job. He's gotten a couple rebound baskets. We got to do a better job of that. And right there, that's a set play coming out of the timeout or coming out of the halftime, and we didn't do a very good job of executing it. Now it ends up being a foul on the other end on Foley.
Mm-hmm.
I think Connor's probably the one that's going to pick that up. But
yeah.
I better not guess because we guessed a while ago and we're wrong.
We did. We still had a foul upper. But Foley's got his second personal foul, first one on the Wildcats here. And Reed has shown a great touch from the foul line, so that's one place you don't want to put him.
Yeah, and he's got a big old taped up wrist, thumb, something. I'm not sure what it is. Looks like it might be a thumb, but, and be able to shoot the ball with all that on there is pretty impressive, actually. So
he's got 7 of 7 from the line, so 7 of his 15 points coming from there. 23-21. It's a 2-point game now. Jasper still leads. Berger's going to launch a 3, and he pops this one. So second one for Caleb, and
oh, there's a turnover. That was that's one that'll drive Coach Miller crazy because it wasn't forced. I mean, it was just a pass in. The guy took his eye off of it before he caught it, and it fell right in Jasper's hands, and they were able to convert it into 2 quick points.
So Cats get 5 points on that trip down to the court.
That's a tough shot. You're catching it.
Fading
momentum,
away.
yeah, momentum's taking you one way, and you're trying to shoot the other way, and that's a very tough shot.
Only Jason Stom had that green light.
No, I couldn't have done that.
Foley with a nice play, so he got great position on that shot.
He had great position, and I'm not sure who threw the pass, but whoever it was a very nice lob pass. You know, he got it up over the defense, give him the ability to run underneath of it.
That's a nice looking shot there. So Nadig pops a 3-pointer. He's got 7. Makes it a 30-24 game. Cats lead by 6.
See, there's another, you know, those are the type of things that are going to drive Coach Gable crazy.
Right.
You know, you've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. Those are pretty well, I mean, they're, I don't want to say unforced, but they're just silly passes.
And that's one thing with Coach Gable he was talking about. He's mentioned this a couple times, but I mean, you know, just incredible ability and athleticism that Connor Foley has. Just one thing is that he's just still kind of learning the game and, you know, learning the set plays that the Cats are trying to run. But a good job there. You don't need a set play if you can steal and score there.
Yeah, Dave did a nice job of knocking it away and taking it by himself and finishing it.
All right, so now Reed's going to try to attack there, and Eichelbeck's going to pick it up.
Eichelbeck's going to pick that foul up. I tell you what, Reed, when he gets the ball, you know, at the volleyball line or so, he just puts his head down, and it's like, here I come, boys, you know. And you just don't see kids nowadays step in front of guys like that to take a charge.
Right.
You know, you just don't see it. And
you can't put him at the line, man.
No,
he's just drilling it. 8 for 8.
Foley's back in for Eichelbeck because Eichelbeck picked up his 3rd foul. So
32-25, 7-point lead for the Cats. Make it 6. So he is Mr. Automatic right now. Trey Reed having a ball game. 17 points already. 5:53 to go here in the 3rd. They able to keep his dribble in the possession for the Wildcats. Berger's got it. Now Ernie. Ball gets knocked away. Good defensive play there by Zach Gray. Come the hatchets the other way.
No, they left him open again.
He's short on that one, though. Here comes Day on the right side. He's going to attack. A little Euro step there, and a beautiful block from behind is Reed, but good job here by Berger to put it back up and in. (34-26), Jasper with the lead. 5:10 to go here.
The thing I like about the way Reed plays, he's active. You know, I mean, he's all over the floor. You know, he plays the defensive end, but even on offense, you know, he's moving, and he's giving himself an opportunity to be able to do things on offense.
Berger's got it on the wing, comes off that screen there that Foley set. So the good job there, nice job by.
We're doing a very good job on that ball reversal of that low post guy of stealing his guy basically in front of him, and it leaves him open from where he's at to the basket. There's no defense in between, and we're making nice lob passes over the top of the defense, just like Goodhue did it there.
Right.
You know, and give himself an opportunity to go to the line.
So Goodhue gets his first point of the ball game with a free throw. 35-26, 4:37 to go here as he shoots the second and pops it. So Cats with a 10-point lead, 36-26, and Gene Miller's got to straighten things out here.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that, you know, we're at the stage of the game right here where we've got a chance to expand that lead, you know, and this is where you have to build on it. You know, you have to keep getting it 1 or 2 points more and more and more and kind of expand it a little bit to give yourself a little breathing room. So.
All right, we'll take a break. 36-26, Jasper leads here on 18 WJTS. So the Hatches with the basketball. Cats have scored 13 points already, and we haven't even played half of this quarter. There's an opening and a good job. Oh, well, they're going to call goaltending. I know.
No, I think they're calling.
They're not? Okay. They're calling a foul,
I think
guess.
foul and 2 shots, I think, is what he was saying. I don't know. We'll see here what he.
So they do call it on Foley. Wow. I thought Foley was trailing on the play. Because he kind of got there late, and honestly, he goaltended because it went off the glass and then he popped it off.
Yeah, I thought
so it really should have been a goaltending.
Should have been a goaltending and not a foul.
Right.
But
at least not on Foley.
No, no, I don't. I'm not sure what the official saw there, but
he didn't see what happened. That's what the problem is.
That's a big part of it.
Well, I tell you what, Washington's still shooting the free throws, though.
Foley's going to have to take a seat over with Gus with 3 fouls. Beekler came in for him, so.
So Horrell hits this one, and he hits the second one. So he's got 4 points, all coming from the line. It's an 8-point game, 36-28.
Like we said, you got to be patient. Just going to get ready to say to be patient and take care of the basketball and try to expand on the lead.
Right. All right, so the Hatchets trying to cut into the lead even further. 3-pointer goes, so that's what they need. Zach Gray hits that one, and now John Gable needs a timeout to straighten things out. So Cats just up by 10 a second ago. Now it's just 5, 36-31 here on 18 WJTS. Michael Beekler will inbound. Jasper, 36. Hatchets, 31.
We were talking there at the break a little bit. You don't fault the kids on their effort, but our decision making is what's getting us in trouble.
Right.
We see things, but we're a split second late with them, or the decision that we make to try to force a pass somewhere that it shouldn't go is where we get ourselves in trouble.
Yeah, a lot of times it's just a split second too late, and then by that time the opening's not there anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to learn that you can't force things. You got to let the game come to you. There we tried to lead the guy on the. I know what Caleb was doing. He was thinking that I think it was Allbrand out there was going to cut to the basket, and he didn't. We got lucky there too.
Beekler can't get it to drop, but he'll step to the line to shoot too. Well, we're talking about 13 quick points for the Wildcats about 3 minutes into the quarter, but they have not scored since, and we got 3:06 on the clock right now.
Yeah, Jasper's on a little drought here for the last minute and so.
Yeah,
Still
Beekler.
on it.
I wasn't going to curse him there, but that was his first miss of the season, I believe.
Oh, well.
6 of 6 from the line for Michael. And he pops that second one, so. All right, 6-point ball game, 37-31.
Washington's done a pretty good job with handling the press. They haven't gotten excited. They haven't let it bother them a whole lot.
I'll tell you what, there's very little dribbling too. They're
just
working the ball up.
And that's the thing you try to teach kids, that that's how you beat a press. It's not put your head down and dribble. That's not a good pass on their part.
All right, so Berger's trying to attack there, gets it over to Allbrand for the 3-pointer. He misses there.
That's a tough shot because he was worried about getting his feet set behind the line instead of just catching and shooting.
Right.
And that, to me, was the biggest downfall to putting that 3-point line in. I hate to keep going back to when we played, but when we did, there was no 3-point line, and guys didn't have to worry about where your feet were at. You would have just caught that ball and shot it in rhythm, and had a lot better chance to make it.
Right.
But nowadays, that's the mentality of the kids is, well, if I want to see where my feet are at. I want a 3-pointer instead of a 2.
On that last play, it looked like it went off Reed's foot, but Washington's still with it. Now Reed's going to try to show his outside game, and it's not there. 2 minutes to go now. 6-point lead for the Cats, 37-31. Day gets to the lane, now in trouble, but he does drop it down. Oh, just short on that shot, though, is Mundy.
Yeah.
He's more used to shooting three-pointers, I think.
I think he was too close to the basket. There's a good defensive play by Goodhue. That's what we were accustomed to seeing last year. That was the way that the plays that Jace made last year a lot was defensive stops like that.
All right, so now he's trying to position himself down low, and Beekler can't see the opening there, so Cats.
Oh, he double dribbled.
Double dribble, yes. All right, so another unforced error for the Cats. 37-31 is still our score as Spencer's going to come in, Spencer Englert. Day's going to sit. So the foul situation, we got 3 on the Wildcats, 2 on the Hatchets, so not really coming into play just yet.
No, the guys that got 3 for Jasper have been sitting on the bench, so they've been, being able to maintain the lead without Foley and without Heichelbeck.
Offensive foul, so again, Jace doing the job again.
Yeah, exactly, and I mean that's going back to the way Jace played last year.
Right.
And that's the kind of player he is. He's a hard-nosed, grinded-out type of player. I don't want to say he's a dirty work player, not a dirty player,
Blue
but
collar.
he does the blue collar, he does the dirty work that, somebody has to do that on the floor. Not all 5 guys out there are going to score.
No.
It takes somebody.
Well, looks like Reed's, no, he actually misses the layup and ends up committing the foul.
I think they called that on Levin.
Okay.
Gray.
All right, so
we got a break there.
Right.
That was just a plain old layup.
That's 4 fouls on the Hatchets. We're inside a minute right now. Still 37-31. And locked on this score for a little bit.
But, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about. These guys need to figure out what their role is on this team, And like we said, it doesn't take 5 guys out there that can score.
Another turnover.
Our turnovers are mounting.
I know. Good foul there by Zach Gray. He's got 5 points in this quarter and makes it a 4-point game now with 26 seconds to go, 37-33.
Washington fans are getting excited.
They are.
All 100 of them or whatever that's here.
I
don't know if there's
that
many.
many.
Okay, 75.
Another one. Man, that's twice the Cats have done that. And now Reed's going to get down low, and he's going to put it in this time. Now you're talking about a 2-point game, 37-35. Right at the buzzer, Englert's going to launch one, and way too high. But, man, sequence there, Jason.
Yeah, again, it's taking care of the basketball and doing the things that, you need to do. And we didn't do that, we just had turnover, and more turnovers. And, Coach Gable's got a whole new group that's going to start the quarter here. So.
All right. Okay, 37 for the Wildcats, 35 for the Hatchets here on 18 WJTS. Well, the Wildcats are going to have to straighten things out. Had a great start to that third quarter, scoring 13 points in the first 3.5 minutes and then held to just 1 the rest of the way. So it's a 37-35 slim lead now, one that was built as high as 10. Good job by Tanner to knock it away, but now they recover, and there's an easy roll for Zach Gray. So he's got 7 points. They've all come here in this second half, and we got a tie basketball game, 37-all.
This is a good old-fashioned gut check. Okay, now you've played hard, you've done some things you needed to do, but you've had too many turnovers. Now you have to right this ship and see what happens in the fourth quarter.
All right, so a double team on Gus. They get over to Foley, and he's camped in the lane. Better get out of there.
That was about 5 seconds, and luckily they didn't call it. I don't think I got to pick on my buddy, the referee. There's an unforced turnover.
That's 4 times we've done that.
Yeah. I said I was going to pick on my buddy, the referee under the basket, Pace Jenkins. Tell me that he's not smart enough to be able to count to 3. So.
All right, so the Hatches looking to take a lead now. Be their first lead since the first quarter, I believe. We got a hold here, and so a foul on the Wildcats on the Heichelbeck. That's his fourth, so his night has been short.
Goodhue's going to come in for him.
All right, so Jace will get the job of guarding Reed now.
Jason just needs to concentrate on this end, like we talked about. You know, doing the blue collar work, doing the defensive side of it.
Three-pointer doesn't go, so now Day comes quickly up the court. Berger on the wing. Foley, triple team.
Yeah.
Look at that. Talk about respect.
But he did
and he attacks and almost gets a shot up and in, but he'll shoot two.
He did a good job of getting out of it. But the thing you got to realize, too, when you've got three guys on you, somebody's got to be open. Now, it's not always the guy's fault that has the ball, because if the other four guys are standing around, instead of flashing to him to help him, you know, he can't do anything with the ball either.
Right.
So.
All right, so Foley had 10 points coming into the quarter, looking for the 11th here as he missed the first free throw and pops that. So Jasper, 1 point lead. 38-37, 6:18 on the clock here. We're in the fourth.
That's where Connor needs to be smart. Yeah. And, oh.
You have got to be kidding me. What did he see, especially on the other side of the court? Oh, now, yeah, there he goes after Coach Gable. But, you know, again, I'll tell you what.
I don't know what he saw.
That was about as clean as a steal as I've seen.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure either what he saw, but he was right on top of it. But obviously, Coach Gable didn't see the same thing, and you know he's got a lot better look at it than what we do up here. But
1 point lead for the Cats. Hatchets with the basketball. It's the fifth foul called on the Wildcats, and now Goodhue. That may have been more of a foul than the other play.
Yeah, I was just going to say it was a good play by Goodhue.
And he traveled. He did. A little too quick with the feet. Wanted to get it over there to quickly over to Ernie, but oh man, the turnovers.
You know, we were talking earlier that you know we weren't getting close to that. You know, we were doing a lot better, but here in the second half, we've had way too many.
Right. All right, so it's a battle. 38-37, 5.5 to go. Spin move, now drop. And he's fading away and had to get that up. I don't know if he's a left-handed shooter, but he shot a left-handed. Owen Gray with a bucket.
That was a tough shot.
So now the Hatchets have the lead, 39-38, 5:26 to go.
Yeah, they're going to call him for a foul there.
All right, so the officials now trying to.
They're going to start calling it a little bit closer. And,
right.
You know, and I don't like that. I mean, if you're going to call the whole game the same way. Don't adjust to the crowd. Don't adjust to the coaches raising heck at you. Just continue to call the game the way you've been calling it. We just look like we're a little out of sync on offense. Like we're not sure what offense we're running or what we're trying to do.
Yeah, looks like we're kind of into a little bit more of a motion offense here.
Yeah. We're just not moving with authority and you know being quick with our cuts and our flashes and that type of thing.
Foley, he's got that one-on-one. Now they drop down to help, so he's in a little bit of trouble. Good feed to Goodhue, and he gets fouled there, so he'll shoot 2 free throws. It looks like he had a.
See, that's what I was talking about, where Goodhue's man went and double teamed on Foley, and Goodhue did a good job of flashing and moving. He didn't just stay stationary somewhere. He went towards the ball, and Connor made a nice pass to get him.
All right, Goodhue. Good foul shooter. He hits that one. He's 3 for 3 tonight. And misses that one, though. Tie ball game.
This is where it makes me nervous with Connor guarding that guy, breaking the ball up the floor just from the fact of picking up a foul, you know, 70 feet from the basket.
Oh, yeah. Well, Reed gets a nice open look there, and he drops it. So
it's just a nice little curl move off of a down screen. They got Reed the ball. And again, that's not an easy shot because he's kind of fading and falling a little bit. But we got to do a little bit better job of defending it.
He's got 21 points for the Hatchets.
That's a
and that will be an offensive foul all day.
But, you know, that right there is exactly what we were just talking about, the difference between Foley did what Reed's been doing on this end, but the Washington player stepped in front of him and took that.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't done that yet down here to Reed.
All right, 41-39. Hatch is looking to build on this lead now. Halfway through the fourth. And we cannot leave him alone, but he misses that time. He popped one earlier. Zach Gray. Okay, so the Cats have got to start scoring some points here.
Short.
I mean, seriously, I don't think the Cats have had a field goal. Cats have not had a field goal since that point we were talking about when they had that 13-point run there in the first minute and a half, or 3.5 minutes of the third quarter.
Almost 8 minutes, hadn't it?
Yeah.
It was halfway through the
right.
third quarter. Now we're halfway through the fourth quarter.
So that's almost a whole quarter without a bucket. They've scored 3 free throws since then. They were up 36-26, and again, just giving him position there for an easy bucket. 23 points for Trey Reed now. And John Gable has got to get things straightened out for this team, otherwise it's going to run away. So 43-39, Hatchets lead, 3:28 to go here in the fourth on 18 WJTS. All right, so the Wildcats with the basketball, 3:28 to go. We are trailing by 4.
We just got to take care of the basketball. Work it to get a good shot. I mean, we can beat them on the inside with Foley and Foley. But see right there,
another mistake. Oh my goodness, yes. You got to call that.
Yeah,
you absolutely have to call that. That was.
Yeah. You know, Isaacson. You know, he's hustling back to try to keep him probably from dunking the basketball. But you know, if you're going to do that, you have to go for the ball. And, you know, in the officials' opinion, and I think we both agree that he didn't go for the ball. He went to keep him from scoring, and he wrapped him up.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like it was going to – oh, he missed. It looked like it was going to be a good tackle in football.
Yeah. Isaac Day, an outstanding football player for the Wildcats. But all right, so 1 for 2.
Beekler came in for Heichelbeck during that break.
All right, so right now the run for Washington. The run for Washington right now is 18-3 since the Cats were up by 10, 36-26. So Jasper just falling apart right now, and they've got to get it back. This game is not over.
Oh, no.
And now they
make a bad decision there.
Day, good job. He recovered well. So Day's got 8 points in this ball game. 3-point ball game. Hatchets lead. Reed goes between his legs, loses control, and now it's going to be an easy pickup there for Tanner.
Yeah, and that'll drive Coach Miller nuts too, because you know, he doesn't need or doesn't want Reed out there doing that. You know, he doesn't need that. So I think Gable's calling a timeout.
Oh, he called the foul, though.
I guess he had a foul before he called the timeout. I don't know.
Okay, so no, they're not even going to call the timeout.
They're not going to take. Coach Gable's not going to take the timeout now.
All right, so this is going to be free throws for the Cats as Beekler's getting there, stepping up to the line there. All right, so the battle continues. 44-41. Jasper down by 3. Again, that field goal by Isaac Day was the first one since the 4.5 mark of the third quarter. 2:32 on the clock right now, so Beekler pops the free throw. He's 2 of 3 tonight. Short on that one, though. All right, 2-point ball game. Now it's just man versus man out there.
Got to play good defense. Don't commit any fouls.
Berger stays on top of number 24, Harrell. Attack to the lane, and Berger comes up with the steal. If he can be quick, and he is. So Berger with a steal and a bucket. Big time for the Wildcats to tie this basketball game with 2 minutes to go. And now Gene Miller's got to straighten out his team. They were starting to kind of take control of this basketball game, but the Cats getting it right back. We're tied 44 here on 18 WJTS. And here at the Hatchet House, and Jason, I think this particular point for Coach Miller and also for Coach John Gable, it's just time to start teaching your teams how to win a basketball game.
You said it, Craig. Both teams are having they're struggling this year, and this is a good sample here of what do you got to do to at the end of the game to be able to win, to pull out a victory, and that's we're going to see which team can do it. 2 minutes left, tie ball game, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, they get it down in the blocks and they get the call, so take your pick of who they're going to call it on. I think it's going to be on Goodhue.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was behind him.
All right, so he was 1 of 2 on his last trip. Trey Reed was.
Foley and Heichelbecker coming back for Beekler and Goodhue. So give us a little more offensive firepower. On the defensive end, they're a minute and 40 seconds left. You don't have to worry about the fouls as much anymore. So.
All right, so that free throw's good. He's 2 of 3 here in the quarter. And Reed, perfect there. Hatchet's 46, Jasper 44. We got a minute 40 to go.
And we talk every game, it seems like when we get to this point, we talk about how turnovers are amplified. You've got to get a shot at the basket, and with turnovers, you don't get that. So Jasper needs to take care of the basketball right here and at least get the opportunity to shoot. You can't, in this situation, you can't take a turnover. I mean, you have to have a shot. And at least there we got it. And
nice job by Day to see that opening on the baseline and pops it. He's got 10 now.
Isaac did a good job of attacking the basket there and getting a good shot.
46-46. We've come down to 1 minute in this ball game, at least in the fourth quarter. So the Hatchet's going to take their time here, see if they end up holding for one shot and maybe calling a timeout with 20 seconds or so. See what Coach Miller decides to do.
They might get in trouble. I was going to say, if you get them in trouble, they may have to call that timeout before they're ready to do it.
This is one of those, oh, man.
Oh.
Heichelbeck just,
he
was behind his guy, and he committed.
I think they ended up calling it on Foley, but it was one or the other.
Okay, well, yeah, they did. So is that Foley's 5th?
Yeah.
Oh, man, oh, man. All right, so Foley's down.
Goodhue's back in for him.
You're putting a guy at the line.
It's a 1-and-1 yet. So obviously he's got to hit the first to get the second. The way he's been shooting tonight, though, it's not going to matter.
No, his stroke is there.
A little more pressure on these, though, than was, when he was in that streak of 7 for 7 or whatever. But
he's 13 of 14 from the line tonight. So Trey Reed looking for another. And he's short. All right, so it's a 1-point ball game. Cats with the basketball, and John Gable's going to call the timeout here. So, all right, now it's a matter of strategy and execution of what you're going to do as far as your offensive play here, Jason.
Yeah, you've got a couple options here. You're down 1 point. You can come out of the timeout with a set play to score a quick one. With being down 1, there's different ways to play it. You can hold it for a last-second shot to win it, or you can say, well, we need to regain the lead and then take our chances down here.
Right.
So
put the pressure on them.
Yeah. So.
And then, but the thing is, if you miss, again, you're still within a 1-possession situation, so you got a foul, and they have to earn it from the line.
It'll be interesting to see how Coach Gable decides to play it out.
Right.
I think looks like Coach Albrand's in there drawing up a play. Again, like I said, is it going to be an out-of-bounds play to play off to score off of it? Is it going to be okay, let's run this set play to get so-and-so this particular shot.
Right.
So there's different ways that you can play this. So it'd be interesting and fun to see how we play this out.
Sure. All right, so 28.7 to go. Hatchets with a 1-point lead, 47-46. Jasper has the basketball side out. Day takes the inbound from Ernie.
They're going to look
with it.
They're going to look for somebody coming back on the up. Yeah, I guess we're going to run it down to the end here. They're going to look for somebody. Oh,
Goodhue's got it. Tries to feed inside and loses the handle, and now the. Oh, they're gonna.
yeah,
Oh, they're gonna.
no,
they gave him a timeout. Yes,
and he did. You know, the kid did a good job. He dove for the ball and was laying there. But you go back to the possession. You know, again, we had a play called and we tried to force it. It wasn't there. You know, and it's funny because we were talking about that at our 6th grade tourney today. Coach Simmers and I were. You know, where kids, they have to realize when you have a set play and that particular play isn't there, you can't force it. You have to progress to the next thing.
Right.
And if that's run your offense, then that's what you have to do.
Yes.
And right there, it looked like, you know, I think Goodhue's man fell down, so he had the ball and he kind of panicked. You know, it was like, oh, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And he tried to force it to somebody that, I mean, there was 3 white guys white jerseys between him and the guy he was trying to pass it to.
Yeah, and the thing is, we saw that so many times in this second half where the Cats, you know, are throwing to where there's 2 or 3 white jerseys, you know?
Yeah, our decision making on that is just not very good. So.
All right, so 47-46, 6.4 to go.
It's going to be a side out of bounds, which sometimes can be a tough thing to get in, but I would look for Washington to throw the ball to their end of the court.
They're going to want to get it into Reed's hands, but they don't, so a quick foul there. So that's going to send number 24, Joa Harrell, to the line.
I'm guessing he's probably a good free throw shooter. I don't know, but I wouldn't think that you would throw him the ball at that particular point if he wasn't.
Right. He's 4 for 4 tonight. All of his points have come from the line.
The good thing of this is, you know, even if he hits both, there's still a 1-possession game.
Right.
You know, you can go down and hit a 3 and tie it. So
he's perfect there. 2-point lead now, 48-46. Pops that one. So Cats call the timeout. We'll take a break here. 49-46 when we come back. The Cats have 5.4 to get down court and hit a 3 here on 18 WJTS. All right, so the Wildcats have their shooters out there.
You got Day, Mundy, Berger, Heichelbeck, and Goodhue. Goodhue's taking it out, so he's probably not going to get the shot.
Handoff. Day, and well, smart play there, though.
Yeah.
Again, foul right away.
They're going to go to the line
to
shoot, but they didn't give Jasper an opportunity to shoot the 3.
Yeah.
So now, you know, what do you do here? Do you go up and try to make both of them? Do you try to make the first one and miss the second one and try to get the rebound? You know, there's a lot of things that can go into play here.
Yeah,
Put
so
Beekler back in for Heichelbeck for the fouls because I believe Gus got 4.
Right.
So I would say the way they're going to play it's to hit both.
He gets the roll.
You don't
you got to hit him first. That's a strategy.
Yeah.
All right, so now 49-47. It's a 2-point game. Now John Gable wants to make sure his team knows what's in play here.
That official blew his whistle as the ball was getting to Day's hand.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't see that. I was looking for Gable there. So.
I mean, Coach called it, but.
All right, 49-47 when we come back. One more free throw for Day here on 18 WJTS. All right, we'll see what the Wildcats decide to do here as Day steps up to shoot a second free throw. Cats down by 2. And he misses. Quick foul. And now 2 free throws by the guy who's been popping them all night. And that's going to seal this basketball game. 2-point lead for the Hatchets, 2.5 on the clock.
Yeah, if he can hit both, that's pretty well all you can handle. Hopefully he can shooting 2.
Yeah, Reed's 13 of 15 from the line tonight. 13 of his 27 points, but he misses there. All right, so interesting.
Make it a little interesting now.
Now talking about a one-possession game, regardless if he makes it or not.
I don't know. Coach was talking to the official there in front of the score table, trying to line up what he wanted to do with timeouts, probably.
All right, so second foul shot's good. He's got 28 points, and Gable calls the timeout. So, all right, really here,
I would
you got to catch and shoot.
Well, I would look for.
They'll probably try to foul us.
I was just going to say, I would look for Washington to do the same thing that they did a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not going to let Jasper have the opportunity to shoot the 3 to tie it.
Right.
You know, they're going to force them to get the ball in on this half court or on their end of the court, make them take a dribble, foul them, and then, you know, that's going to take some more time off the clock.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so Trey Reed, the star of this basketball game for the Hatchets, scoring 28 of their 50, but hitting some free throws down the stretch there. However, he was 2 of 4 in his last 2 trips there. So 2 free throws would have made it, pretty well sealed the deal, but Cats have a chance here. Slim chance, but still a chance. 2.5 on the clock. Goodhue's going to inbound.
I don't know why they don't guard Mundy a lot closer than that.
They'll at least get a half-court shot, not close. All right, so that's about the best you can do, because, again, anything deeper than that, they're going to foul right away and not let them get it off. But yeah, I'll tell you what, kind of disappointing for the Cats. Again, building up to a 10-point lead midway through the third quarter, but just things started to fall apart there, just finishing with just 1 point to close out that quarter in the last 4.5 minutes and just not able to recover from there.
Well, I mean, to me, the game was won and lost in that dry spell that we went in, from the last half of the third quarter, like you said, to midway through the fourth quarter. I don't care who you're playing. I don't care what the record is of any team. You can't go in a dry spell that long and think that you're going to be able to maintain what you're doing,
right?
And stay at the lead you have or maintain the game. I mean, you can look at college games. That the announcers in college games always talk about, what dry spell or what run the teams make. And that's the way basketball is. It's a game of runs. Are you able to sustain it? Are you able to get through it? And and that's basically kind of what happened to Jasper tonight. I mean, we weren't able to fight through those that long dry spell that we had there, and it stings.
Yeah.
It does. The kids played well for the first 2.5 quarters probably, and it had built themselves up to a nice little lead there of 10 points or whatever it was, but that's why a game is 32 minutes and you have to do what, you have to play for 32 minutes.
Right.
Like, tonight was a perfect example of that. We played hard for 2.5 quarters and we're able to get things done, and then all of a sudden the wheels fell off, and next thing you know, you let Washington claw and scratch, and I mean, you got to give Washington credit. I mean, they worked hard, obviously Reed was their leader with, what did he end up with, 28?
28, yep.
But it wasn't a one-man show. The rest of them were out there working hard and being able to do what they needed to do to keep Washington in the game. But again, I think a lot of it come down to our turnovers. We had a lot of turnovers again that were unforced. It's, I don't know. I'm getting to the point where it's, you're getting to a loss of words.
And
excuses. Yeah, and excuses. Things are starting to sting. This one does, because this is one you were thinking, okay, it's a team that plays the style that we do. It's a team that, year in and year out, we're always right there with, and we were. I mean, it's not that they didn't kill us. I mean, but it's a game that you really wanted. You know,
Right.
these kids needed a win here tonight to reward them for, you know, some of the hard work they've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're working hard. You know the fans that, you know, obviously this year is a lot different because there's not fans here watching.
Right. You just got family and.
Yeah, and you know, the kids are working their butts off in practice, and they're doing the things they need to do. They're putting the time in. You know, so that's the part that, you know, is hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to accept. You know, it's not like they're going to practice saying, we're not very good, we're not going to work hard. You know, and I know our coaching staff, and they're not going to let that happen. I mean, they're going to challenge these kids. They're going to stay after them. They're going to want them to work hard. They're going to make them work hard. You know, and you just, again, you know, we keep talking about the identity. You know, I just don't feel that this team has an identity. You know, what are we known for? Are we known for playing hard-nosed defense? Are we known for our shooting? What are we known for?
Right.
And right now, I don't think this team has one of those. They work hard, but I mean, that's what you expect every year out of a Jasper team.
That's still waiting for that player to kind of take over the team. You know, you need somebody to kick some butt out there.
Yeah,
and we're just not seeing anybody doing it.
You know, and again, like we said, it doesn't necessarily have to be on the scoring end. I mean, last year you had Kabrick. Kabrick scored, you know, and when Kabrick didn't score, Harmon scored, or, you know, whatever. But that's what you have to have this year, and right now we're struggling with that. We don't have somebody that's out there to initiate it, to be that type of leader or go-to guy. You know, who that is, I don't know. I mean, we can't sit here and analyze that or judge who that needs to be.
Right.
You know, and I think from the coach's perspective, you know, they're going to go back to the drawing board. It's a short drawing board.
I know.
You know, you
3
can't,
games next week.
You can't do anything tomorrow. The coaches can, but they can't have the players there on Sundays. So you got Monday to practice, and you turn around and play Corden on Tuesday. And I mean, I don't have any idea what Corden is, you know, and at this point, it doesn't really matter who you're playing or what you're doing.
Yeah.
You need to go out and you need to play well, you know. And, you know, the other night against Southridge, we came away from the game with a win. And, you know, there was times when we played decent in that, you know, and that's kind of what we need. We need to start putting all the pieces together.
Right.
And right now we're having a little hard time with that. But
yeah. Well, and I tell you another thing too is that I feel like that the errors are correctable. You know, because again, you just need to be a little bit more patient in the offense and not force these passes where, you know, somebody's double team and you know, the passing angle's just not there. You know, somebody's making a cut, but the defense has already closed that spot up that, you know, we're trying to feed into basically a space that's not open.
A pass that's not there. A lot of it, like what you're saying, is that, you know, there's mental errors and there's physical errors. You know, and as a coach, you can accept physical errors. The mental errors is what we've got to cut out.
Yeah.
And that's where we're struggling right now, because a lot of those errors that we're making, like you're saying, throwing to a guy that's not open or a spot that's not open, that's a mental
or a play
error.
that's not there.
Or a play that's not there, that's blown up, it didn't work. You know, that's where you have to have the mentality to back it out, start it, figure out what we need to do.
Right.
You know, and there's times when you have the defense scrambling that you don't want to pull it out. You want to go ahead and force it.
Sure.
But that's where the kids have to recognize that themselves. As a coach on the bench, you can't holler that out there because it's too late then.
Right.
But you got to have somebody out there on the floor that can adapt to that and adjust to it and say, make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, and right now we're not doing that. So.
Well, Jason, we'll take a break here, and coaches are slowly walking up the stairs to make their interviews. So, all right, we'll be back right after this. Jasper falls 50-47 here on 18 WJTS. We are back once again here at the Hatchet House. The Wildcats falling to the Washington Hatchets 50-47, and not a very happy Jason Albrand, a little dejected right now. So.
Yeah, it was a tough night. It was a tough weekend. But I guess, you know, first of all, you got to give credit to Washington. We built a 10-point lead there in the third quarter. And then we just, I think, let up, and they did not, and they kept fighting and got some steals on the defensive end and turned them into layups. And the next thing you know, it's a it's a tie game and a dogfight in the fourth quarter. So they didn't put their head down, and they kept fighting and got back in the game. And through our lack of taking care of the ball, we let them do that. I think we kind of relaxed for whatever reason. I guess when you're two and whatever, you don't need to relax anything till the last horn's over. So tough loss tonight, but like I said, give Washington credit. I thought that the Reed kid for them played extremely well, both ends of the floor. We had no answer for him defensively.
Yeah.
I thought Jace probably of all the guys did a nice job when they're battling him. He's outmanned, undersized, but I thought Jace is a smart defender, and I thought he battled him. But just too many errors. Mental errors, physical errors. Not paying attention to detail, I guess you'd say.
Well, you talk about errors. Errors need to be corrected. How do we correct these errors?
Well, that's a good question. We had 22 turnovers last night, 20 turnovers tonight.
Wow.
So you're not going to win basketball games at any level if you are giving the ball to the other team 20-plus times a game. And, one of the bad things about most of those turnovers, they were live ball turnovers, which one of the things, you throw the ball out of bounds, play stops, and you can set your defense. But last night and tonight, too often, those were on the wing or the top of the key, which led to transition layups. And so you kind of compound the turnover with a bucket in transition. So,
right.
You asked how to fix it. You watch film. You learn from your mistakes. We've said it before. We can only use the excuse so long, but we are an inexperienced bunch for the most part. Now we have played 9 games, and it's time to start. That was disappointing, I think, tonight. I thought Craig was – I saw a lot of the same mistakes tonight that we had seen 3-4 weeks ago.
Right, earlier.
Just not running the right play, guys not in the right spot, not communicating, not missing – I mean, just things that are correctable. And for whatever reason tonight, I didn't think we had the focus that we needed to come win on the road against a team that was hungry for a win.
Right.
And they got it.
Well, a lot of times when you're running an offense, I mean, obviously it's drawn up a certain way. And everybody has a mindset that this person's going to be there. And to force that pass into a spot that's just not open.
And we did
saw
that
too many times.
And a lot of times it was on the first side or second side. And, we've mentioned many times that first side post feeds usually are turnovers. Defenses are set. You get that ball reversed 2 or 3 times, and then when they're out of position, you can pin a guy down low. And our post feeding, we had too many mistakes. Guys a couple times just staring and getting the ball deflected, not pass faking, forcing it in to the wrong side. Guys on the bottom side, and we're throwing the ball to the bottom side. just things that really we should be able to do by now. And so I thought tonight was just a really big lack of focus. Offensively, we 7 points is not enough. Did not get much in transition. We're trying to run a couple different offenses based on what bigs we have in the game. And so we're still learning, I think, some of the finer points of this is taken away, this is going to be open. They're going to take something away, and then we have to be able to be smart enough through repetition and listening and watching film to say, okay, that's not there, this is.
Right.
And live another day on the next side and not trying to force it right away. So, we got a lot of work to do, no doubt about it.
Okay, now talk about the defensive side. I mean, when somebody scores 28 points and is pretty well dominant like that, where did we fall short there?
Well, I think he had 18, 17 from the foul line.
Yeah, he did. But
so he had 5 field goals. But, some of those were he got the steal on the wing or he got the steal at the top of the key. Or so he did a good job of attacking. And I think a lot of times is he beat us to the spot a lot of times. Instead of being in a stance, and we always say never let a guy cut in front of your face. You're in a stance and he's coming from block to block, and you're on the midline. He's not going to cut in front of your face, and too often he did. Then we follow him there, and then we either tried to steal on the post feed, foul, bonus, big guys on the bench, or a couple times he got caught on the high side, and it was just an easy drop step layup.
Right.
So just playing a pass ahead, understanding, anticipating on that pass, what's he going to try to do, and we did a poor job of that. And they didn't run much for him. That was the thing. It wasn't like they tried to rip screen or cross screen for him a few times, and we got to get better at seeing that and jamming the screen and having our guard help a little bit. But, we got to have more awareness as to where they're trying to go and be able to beat that guy to that spot.
All right. Well, again, 2 nights in a row I talked to Coach Gable about it and talked to you now. You got to wipe the slate clean. And 3 games next week. So
yeah, that's one of the things with our schedule right now is you said how are we going to fix these things, and we don't have a lot of practice time, which is the discouraging thing. It's
you got to do it on the court.
It's
really.
Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. You're learning. Hopefully we're learning through our mistakes, but to go. Monday, I don't know that we'll do. We played 2 games. You got a game Tuesday, then you played 3 games in 4 days, and you got 2 days and played 2 more games. So, we won't spend as much time on the floor. I'd say hour to 15 minutes, but we got to make sure that it's a productive hour and it's an hour that we're focused and working on some of these things that we continue to do poorly, which costs us, W's like tonight.
Right. Well, hey, I'm not going to beat it too much anymore after this, and I'm feeling.
Well,
for you, buddy.
it's discouraging. It's but we got to keep fighting. There's nothing that we can't. Everybody gets invited to the tournament. We don't get not invited because of our record, and so we'll see what kind of team we have, what kind of pride we have when we take the floor next week, and see if we're going to rebound and get mentally tough and grow up a little bit. And learn from our mistakes, or are we going to continue to kind of, crawl into the hole and feel sorry for ourselves and make excuses about, referees, the COVID. There's all kinds of things we can throw our fingers at and blame. But you look in the mirror, and coaches included. It's not a thing where it's, they're not the sole reason. So, we'll look at ourselves and we'll try to, do some things maybe a little differently and hopefully keep moving forward.
You got to become problem solvers.
That's right. You got to stay positive.
Right.
I mean, it's hard sometimes, but you really got to stay positive and realize that it's a long season and we got a lot of games left.
Well, you got good kids and good coaching staff, so keep plugging away.
We will. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. All right, always tough to talk after a disappointing loss like this, but we appreciate Jason coming up here and sharing his thoughts and some strategies of what can go forward for this Jasper Wildcat team. So they fall the Washington Hatchets, and again, they were dominated by Trey Reed tonight, 28 points. All 5 starters scored in this ball game, 7 for Zach Gray, 7 for Bryson Nadig, and Harrell had 6 and 2 for Owen Gray. And the Wildcats, 3 players in double figures, Connor Foley with 11, Isaac Day with 11, 10 for Caleb Berger, Tanner Ernie with 4 off the bench. Jack Albrandt hit a couple threes in the first half, and 2 free throws for Michael Beekler. So 50-47, Jasper falls, and their record drops to 2-7 on the season. And again, on the schedule, coming up Tuesday night, Corydon Central is coming to Jasper, so that game got rescheduled. So again, squeezing that in, and then we got Forest Park and Evansville Harrison after that next weekend. And the Hatchets improved to 2-6 on the season. So for Jason Stamm and Jeremy Marcos on the video, my name is Craig Schneider. This is Wildcat Basketball here on 18 WJTS. Good night.